Hey, all right, it's me again. On my last video, I kind of mentioned that I'm getting some air somehow into my fuel system on my pump. So I'm going to try to diagnose that today. I don't know exactly what it is yet. I'm probably just going to go ahead and change out that lift pump anyway. I've got a brand new one, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to get into that, and first I'm going to feed this chicken because it's driving me crazy. All right, we'll see you after that. So the first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to check how far down the line that we're getting air into the fuel system. It makes sense to me to look at that first. So I think what I'm going to do is start screwing off this fuel filter here. This is the water separator. This is the fuel filter. I'm going to see if this is full. Yesterday when I was pumping, it kind of started to miss a little bit, like it had some air in there. So I think that's where we will start. Yeah, it's got plenty in there. I think what I'll do is there's a little purge screw up here. That's what I call it. I don't know. I am not a diesel mechanic. I just always buy people's broke stuff and fix it because I can afford it. So, I'm going to open this up, and then on the other side, I'll show you on the lift pump, it has a manual priming ability. So I'll show you that in just a second. If you are a Perkins diesel mechanic, or you have a lot of experience with these things, you're a Perkins connoisseur, I'm sorry if I don't use the right terminology. I'm just doing the best I can and calling it what I think it is. So let's see. All right, that's cracked. Yeah, it's already starting to seep, so I don't think our problem is here. I'm going to pump that a few times. You'll see diesel coming out of it. Yeah. So we're 100% good there. That's good and bad, because this is downstream from the lift pump. So maybe it's not the lift pump that's getting air. The other thing that it could be, that, and I don't know, I'm getting diesel everywhere. This little cover right here, I don't know, it's got old gasket material. Could it possibly be sucking air from there? I don't know. But we're going to open up this port and this port as well, those bleeder valves, and we'll see if we get any diesel out of there when I pump it. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it pretty good. Those are 8mm. Okay. See, that looks good too already. Looks like it's just straight diesel coming out. Doesn't look like there's any air in that. Strange indeed. All right, we're gonna do this one. Another one back here. Yeah, see, that one's straight up diesel. I don't even think there's any need in bleeding that. Yeah, that's good. There's no air in there. All right, about the only other thing that we can do is crank it up and I'm going to open up those two, the fuel lines going to those two injectors. Typically, that's where I get air at. You'll see air bubbles coming out of there as it's running. Okay, can you see it up there? Right here, right here. All right, I'm gonna crank it up, and I think those are 16 millimeter or 17, 16. Dig around and find that right there. A little bit of air in that. Same thing in the next one. See the air? Alright, so if I adjust the idle screw, man, it sounds horrible. I can hear it, and then when you get up here and you get near the exhaust, well, I don't know, it actually doesn't sound bad now. I don't know. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let it run for a while. I'm gonna put it up to the operating RPM that I usually run it at when I'm pumping, and just see what she does. Okay, I've been letting it run for a little bit, and well, about 6 or 7 minutes. And one thing that I noticed was right here, the fuel line going to that injector, it's seeping a little bit. So I wonder if this is not seated, because this one is doing it also. So I'm going to undo those and see if I can't straighten up that a little bit to where it, I don't know, maybe I'm just chasing my tail. We'll look at it. If anybody's got any advice, I would take that too. It's almost like that's not lining up like it should. Well, I threw it down. I don't know. All right, well, yeah. We get a light so we can see what's going on here. Hey, these little lights, these icon lights, these little guys with a magnet on the bottom from Harbor Freight, worth every dadgum penny. Son, let me tell you. I use it, well, the magnet works good too. I use it anytime I'm working on this or early morning jobs. Sure does help to be able to see. Man, I don't. Does it have an O-ring on the end of it? I don't know. I'm a fireman that pumps concrete, not a mechanic. But I tell you what, if you're gonna be in this business, unless you got deep pockets, you better learn how to work on your own stuff. Because shop rate is higher than a cat's back. Now it's worth it. I mean, them boys know what they're doing, but that looks like it's lining up in there a little better now that I kind of bent it. I don't know. Would that be sucking air in there? Okay. Same thing on this one, because I get air out of it too. I don't know how old this motor is. I think it's from the 80s, to be honest with you. I think. Which, fine by me. She's all mechanical. Battery could die on this thing. She don't care. The pump does. The pump absolutely hates low voltage. But the motor doesn't care. They put these in a lot of farm equipment. There's a lot of old boats that have them. They built many of these. I don't know. Do y'all like watching these kind of things? I find it interesting. Y'all might think it's boring. If you think it's boring, I won't film it. Hold your mouth right. Well, this joker's long-winded. Come on. Alright, that one's free. Just don't break it. Let's get that natural alignment of it a little better, maybe. I don't know. Shot in the dark, you know. Boy, look at there. Went right on. Alright, fire it up. We'll bleed the air again, because I bet it got a little bit when I did that. And we'll see what happens. So yeah, I don't know. I hate to change that lift pump out if it doesn't really need it. I don't know. I'm gonna let her run a little bit more and see what happens. All right, so it's the next day, and it's the next day. My chicken likes to eat cat food, okay? And then she's mean to the cat. So I literally have to do, come here. Look, yeah, no. Hold on. This is, she looks sweet. She looks like she's sweet, but she will peck the crap out of our cat. So, anyway. Alright, it's the next day. And it's the next day because I needed to think about this a little bit. And then we had what all do we have? A basketball game, cheer, and we didn't get home till late last night. So I've been thinking about this a little bit. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is change out that lift pump. I've already replaced the fuel line that goes from the tank to this inline filter. I put this inline filter in place because I wanted to make sure I was seeing that fuel come from the tank. I did have an issue where I wasn't getting fuel to my lift pump, so I used my air compressor and blew that line back out all the way into the tank through the pickup tube in there, and I think I got some junk out of it. You can see in that bottom of that bowl, there's some rust. All right, I probably need to start looking at and thinking about replacing this tank, because number one, I don't know what it come off of. I don't know how old it is, but undoubtedly there's some junk in there. So anyway, we're gonna replace this lift pump today, and let me get everything situated, and then we'll get going. All right, so first we're gonna start off by breaking these fuel lines loose. I've never changed out a lift pump on here before, so we're gonna be learning together. And that dang chicken is being mouthy back there. We had a bunch of chickens, and well, my wife got them. I built the hen house. We got them when they were just chicks, so you don't know what you have. That's why you don't count your chickens before they hatch, I guess they say. So we ended up with, like, I don't know, 9 roosters, which, if you know anything about chickens and roosters, 9 roosters is way too many. And so we got rid of those guys, and we got rid of those guys and ended up just having like 3 chickens left. Well, slowly they either got, well, I accidentally ran over one. I'm not even going to pretend that I didn't have a hand in it. I accidentally ran over one, and then Birdie, our Cane Corso, who's a sweet girl, decided she wanted to eat one. So that did her in. I'm fighting this thing. There we go. That did that chicken in. And so now we have this one lone bird left over. I'm gonna get something to hold that up so I'm not spilling diesel all over the place. So I kind of feel sorry for her because she's the only one left out of the bunch. But she's a little ornery. Let's see here. A little ornery is actually being nice. She's a heifer. She's a real heifer. Okay. Fuel lines are broke loose. There and there. Let's pop this joker off. And there's probably some diesel mechanics that are going to watch this and be like, this guy is an idiot. I know. I never claimed to not be. Okay? I never claimed to not be. So, whew, look at that. Broke right off and that sucker was, she's been leaking a little bit. All right, we'll throw that one down there. That's good. Let's see if I can find that. Did we go all the way? Did we go all the way through? I'll never find that one again. Got it. Let's Throw this light in there too. Up our production value. New lift pump. So the way these work is there's a rod that goes up and down in there, and it's what pumps this, draws the fuel up from the tank and sends it over to the filters, through the filters to the injection pump. While we're here, clean this up a little bit. Good enough for who it's for, I reckon. Line it all up. Line the bolt holes up. Okay. You don't want to just run those things home with your little impact. Just be easy with it. Okay. One thing I've noticed is on this right here, this has got a 90 on the old pump, so I'm going to take that off and we'll put it on there. Well, pager is going off. Grass fire. Well, all right. I guess we're going to pause this one. We've got a grass fire to go to. I'll catch up with you after we get done with that. It's kind of uneventful. Got dozer working in there. Couple acres, 3 acres or so burned. And this tall grass, we're on hay bale protection because there's nothing else to do.
The Forest Service came through yesterday with one on the trailer. I saw him look.
It's our neighboring departments, 2.5 ton, a lot like ours. Our brush 2. Got a fire get away from them, burn pile, got into a cutover. So we're about to wrap it up and head back. All right, and now I'm back. Had a little grass fire. You've already got the footage on there, so you got to see a little bit of that. So out here where I live, we have a volunteer fire department because we're out in the country. And so what we did is we went and assisted a department that kind of neighbors us on a little grass fire in an area where that they overcut year or so, 2 years back or so. Looks like it got started by some folks with the burn pile and weren't keeping an eye on it. Wind picked up, got away from them. So got it all done, and now we're back to putting this lift pump on. I'm going to finish hooking up the fuel lines. Got to tighten this one up back here, and I'll attach this one here. I got to put that other 90 degree on there, and then we'll work on priming it and see what we got. All right, got the fuel lines connected now. Now what we're going to do is prime it. You prime it by pushing up on this. You'll see the fluid moving in that. All right, now's the moment of truth. We'll see what happens. I got all my tools cleaned off here because this thing shakes, rattles, and rolls like Elvis Presley did in the 50s. We'll bust it off. We might have to bleed a little air. We'll see. it's cold also. I haven't ran it at all today. We'll see if we get any air out of there. Way better. Way better. Better. All right, well, I think that might have done it. I don't know if that lift pump was somehow sucking air in. It's pretty old. I don't know if it's original to the motor or not, but she's been on there working for a while. So I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but it already sounds better. So, you know, it might have been sucking air, and I don't know. It's strange, but it's mechanical. I'll take that. Maybe we got it fixed. I'll tell you what, we'll call this video done, and if I have any more problems, I promise I'll let you know, and we'll dig back into it and see what we can figure out. But it's just part of owning an old piece of equipment. But I'll tell you what, she might be old, but by golly, she's been getting the work done for me, and I feel like the good Lord blessed me with this pump, and we're gonna squeeze everything out of it that we can. That being said, wear parts. That's coming up. Wear parts are coming up. As far as like the mud cups go, and the seals and everything, and the concrete cylinder. So that's coming. I'm dreading it a little bit. I've never done it. I was fixing to say I've never done it on this machine. I've never done it, period. So thank goodness there is a Mike Wickstrom over at Reed. He has got a heck of a video explaining how to do that job. And so I'm gonna be going over that and have him right beside me on the computer playing that video while we do this. But yeah, look forward to that. We're gonna be changing out the mud cups and seals and everything in those concrete cylinders, because I'm starting to get on those grout jobs. It's so fine. I'm starting to get a little bit in the water box. I'm noticing it, and I don't want to put that off very long. So we'll get that taken care of, and so we're going to World of Concrete. It's going to be awesome. Me and the wife are going, meeting up with everybody out there in Vegas. Probably place an order from Aware Parts. And when we get back from that, that's going to be an undertaking that we're going to do pretty fast. So, all right. Well, I think that'll do it for this video. All right. I wanted to add this in here. I wanted to take this lift pump apart just to kind of see if I could diagnose what the issue was. And let's see if I can sit you right here. There we go. Okay, I took this cap off. All right, behind the cap is like a screen. This light kind of sucks. Let's see here. Let me show you what I got you sitting on. That reducer, baby. All right, let's see. Okay, behind here is like a filter, right? Which I didn't know that it had that. Good to know. The fuel comes up through this filter, right? And then goes back down in this port. Look at this. Take this filter off. Look at the amount of garbage. Look at that. That is rust and all kinds of crud. You know, that definitely was probably contributing to my fuel delivery issue, I would say. The good thing is now I've got that smaller inline filter in place, and so it's going to catch it before it even makes it into this pump, into the lift pump. I'll just have to change out that inline filter a little more frequently, but at least I'll visibly able to see this junk. And I mean, that's bad, dude. That leads me to believe it's probably time to just get a new fuel tank. I think that's going to be the best course of action moving forward. New fuel tank and keep an eye on that inline filter. Of course, with a new fuel tank, that inline filter is going to probably be overkill, but you never know. Anyway, I think that was a huge contributing factor to my fuel delivery issue. And this cap also was, the cap that was on here was a little bit loose. I don't know if that could have been doing it, but it's pretty good shape. Anyway, I think that might have been one of the major issues, but we got a new lift pump on there. We're good to go, and I think that might have solved it. So, all right, see you on down the road.